Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 8. We read yesterday that Krishna, when he was leaving back for Dwarka, he sat down on the chariot and Uttara came running to him, asking for protection. She was like, Krishna, you're the Supreme Lord. Please protect me. Abhidravati mam isha.
Abhidrivati mam isha.
Sharastaptaya so vibho.
Sarastaptaya so vibho.
Kamam datu mam natha.
Kamam dahatu mam natha.
Mame garbo nipatyatam.
Mame garbo nipatyatam.
So Auntie Rashmi was, and Neetu, let me just ask Auntie Rashmi if she'll continue.
Yeah.
Rashmi, आप read करोगे?
हाँ इनको करने दो नहीं
अच्छा,
नीतू को पढ़ लो
Okay, Neetu,
Okay.
then you read.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll read.
Okay.
Translation. O my Lord, you are all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. My Lord, let it burn me personally, if you so desire, but please do not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, my Lord. Purport. This incident took place after the death of Abhimanyu, the husband of Uttara. Abhimanyu's widow, Uttara, should have followed the path of her husband, but because she was pregnant and Maharaj Parikshit, a great devotee of the Lord, was lying in embryo, she was responsible for his protection. The mother of a child has a great responsibility in giving all protection to the child, and therefore Uttara was not ashamed to express this frankly before Lord Krishna. Uttara was the daughter of a great king, the wife of a great hero, and student of a great devotee. And later she was the mother of a good king also. She was fortunate in every respect.
So Uttara was coming to Krishna in great fear because she said that there's a fiery arrow was coming towards her, but she was not concerned about her own life. She was afraid of Maharaj Parikshit, who was in her womb that time. He was not yet born, he was still in her womb. So she was afraid of that the child will die. So she was the wife of Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu died, but she didn't take sati because she was pregnant. So Prabhupada is saying she was fortunate because she was daughter of a great king, wife of a great hero, and then student of a great devotee. She was Arjuna's student and mother of a good king. She is Parikshit's mother. So she was very fortunate. Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha.
Upadharya Vachastasya.
Upadharya Vachastasya.
Bhagavan Bhaktavatsala.
Bhagavan Bhaktavatsala.
Apandavam idam kartum.
Pandavam idam kartum.
Droner astram abudhyata.
Dronar astram abudhyata. Translation. Suta Goswami said, having patiently heard her words, Lord Sri Krishna, who is always very affectionate to his devotees, could at once understand that Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, had thrown the Brahmashastra to finish the last life in the Pandava family. Purport. The Lord is impartial in every respect, but still he is inclined towards the devotees because there is a great necessity of this for everyone's well being. The Pandava family was a family of devotees, and therefore the Lord wanted them to rule the world. That was the reason he vanquished the rule of the company of Duryodhana and established the rule of Maharaja Yudhishthira. Therefore, he also wanted to protect Maharaj Parikshit, who was lying in embryo. He did not like the idea that the world should be without the Pandavas, the ideal family of devotees.
So Krishna, he is very affectionate to his devotees. Krishna is actually equal to everyone, but he's especially inclined to his devotees. And here in the case of Pandavas, Krishna wanted them to rule the world for the benefit of everyone else. You will hear later that how, because Yudhishthir Maharaj, after he became the king, the whole earth was so happy, was flourishing. Everyone was happy, peaceful. There was enough rains, food, grains, cows were happy. Everyone was happy. So that's the reason Krishna wanted Yudhishthir to be the king, and I understands Parikshit. He is also a great devotee, and he wants to protect Parikshit. So Paritranaya sadhuna, he's always protecting the devotees. Krishna, he has a, like when we love someone, then if some harm comes on them, it's our natural tendency that we will want to protect them. We want to help them. Similarly, Krishna and the devotee, there is a loving relationship between them. Tarhi evata muni shrestha
Tari evatha muni shrestha
Pandava panchasayakan
Pandava panchasayaka
Atmano bhimukhan deeptan
Atmano bhimukhan diptan
Alaksyastrani upadadu.
Alakshastrani upadadu. Purport. The Brahmastra are finer than the nuclear weapon. Ashwatthama discharged the Brahmastra simply to kill the Pandavas. Oh, sorry, I missed that. O foremost among the great thinkers, Munit, Shaunaka, seeing the glaring Brahmastra proceeding towards them, the Pandavas took up their 5 respective weapons. Purport. The Brahmastras are finer than the nuclear weapons. Ashwatthama discharged the Brahmastra simply to kill the Pandavas, namely the 5 brothers headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira and their only grandson who was lying within the womb of Uttara. Therefore, the Brahmastra, more effective and finer than the atomic weapons, was not as blind as the atomic bombs. When the atomic bombs are discharged, they do not discriminate between the target and others. Mainly, the atomic bombs do not harm to the innocent because there is no control. The Brahmastra is not like that. It marks out the target and proceeds accordingly without harming the innocent.
So Krishna understood that time that it's a Brahmastra which Ashwatthama has released. So now everyone is seeing the Brahmastras coming. So the Pandavas also getting ready. They want to protect Parikshit. And Prabhupada is pointing out that there's a difference between these weapons of before and now. Now there's like mass destruction. They'll just destroy anyone. But the Brahmastra it can just go to a specific target, not like an atom bomb that can just destroy the whole city, even harm innocent people. But Brahmastra it can be thrown for a particular person, and then it can just go attack that particular person. Vyasanam vikshya tattesham.
Vyasanam vikshya tatte sam.
Ananya vishyatmanam.
Ananya vishyat manam.
Sudarshanena swastrena.
Sudarshane na swastrena.
Swanam raksham vyadhad vibhu.
Swanam raksham vyadat vibhu. Translation. The Almighty Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, having observed that a great danger was befalling his unalloyed devotees, who were fully surrendered souls, at once took up his Sudarshana disc to protect them. Purport. The Brahmastra, the supreme weapon released by Ashwadhama, was something similar to the nuclear weapon but with more radiation and heat. This Brahmastra is a product of a more subtle science, being the product of a finer sound, a mantra recorded in the Vedas. Another advantage of this weapon is that it is not blind like the nuclear weapon because it can be directed only to the target and nothing else. Ashwatthama released the weapon just to finish all the male members of Pandu's family. Therefore, in one sense, it was more dangerous than the atomic bombs because it could penetrate even the most protected place and would never miss the target. Knowing all this, Lord Sri Krishna at once took up his personal weapon to protect his devotees, who did not know anyone other than Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has clearly promised that his devotees are never to be vanquished, and he behaves according to the quality of degree of the devotional service rendered by the devotees. Here the word Ananya Vishyatamanam is significant. The Pandavas were 100% dependent on the protection of the Lord, although they were all great warriors themselves. But the Lord neglects even the greatest warrior and also vanquishes them in no time. When the Lord saw that there was no time for the Pandavas to counteract the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama, he took up his weapon even at the risk of breaking his own vow. Although his Although the battle of Kurukshetra was almost finished, still according to his vow, he should have not taken up his own weapon. But the emergency was more important than the vow. He is better known as the Bhaktavatsala or the lover of his devotee, and thus he preferred to continue as Bhaktavatsala than to be a worldly moralist who never breaks his solemn vow.
So the Brahmastra was coming, and Krishna, he understood that the Pandavas don't have time to counteract it. It's specifically targeted towards them. And Krishna, he picks up his own Sudarshan to protect them. So Prabhupada is explaining that um, it's is again Prabhupada is continuing to the same point that Brahmastra is not like the nuclear weapons of nowadays that they just destroy everything, but it's very specific and can just go to the target. So Ashwatthama had targeted to kill the Pandavas, all the male members, because he wanted the dynasty to finish there. And Parikshit was the last emperor, right? I mean, the last child of the Pandu dynasty that was living. So Krishna, and so Ashwatthama wanted to kill him, and Krishna, he's known as Bhaktavatsal. Krishna could have said, "Oh, I've taken a vow not to pick up weapons." The war was actually already almost over, but still, Krishna, he's not known as an ordinary moralist. He's known as Bhaktavatsal, that he always protects the devotees no matter what. And although the Pandavas, they're great warriors themselves, they're completely dependent on Krishna because they are devotees of Krishna. And so Krishna, he reciprocates as ye mam prapadyante, mam tatheva, mamstatheva bhajami aham. As one surrenders to me, I reward them accordingly. So as one is more dependent on Krishna, as one is more love for Krishna, Krishna reciprocates in that manner. The Pandavas are completely dependent on Krishna. So Krishna is very, very much concerned for their protection. Antastha sarvabhutanam.
Antastha sarvabhutanam.
Atma yogeshwaro hare.
Atma yogeshwaro hari.
Swamaya yavranodgarbham.
Swamaya cha pranodgarbham.
Vairatya kuru tantave.
Vairatya kuru tantave. Translation: The Lord of Supreme Mysticism, Sri Krishna, resides within everyone's heart as a Paramatma. As such, just to protect the progeny of the Kuru dynasty, he covered the embryo of Uttara by his personal energy. The Lord purport: the Lord of Supreme Mysticism can simultaneously reside within everyone's heart or even within the atoms by his Paramatma feature, his plenary portion. Therefore, from within the body of Uttara, he covered the embryo to save Maharaj Parikshit and protect the progeny of Maharaj Kuru, of whom King Pandu was also a descendant. Both the sons of Dhritarashtra and those of Pandu belonged to the same dynasty of Maharaj Kuru. Therefore, both of them were generally known as Kurus. But when there were differences between the two families, the sons of Dhritarashtra were known as the Kurus, whereas the sons of Pandu were known as Pandavas. Since the sons and grandsons of Dhritarashtra were all killed in the battle of Kurukshetra, the last son of dynasty is designated as the son of the Kurus.
So Krishna is the master of mysticism. There may be so many people who have mystic powers, the siddhis, but Krishna is the supreme mystic. Yogeshwar, that's why he's called Yogeshwar. He is the Lord of all the mystics. Somebody can do some mysticism, some powers they can show us. Krishna is all the mysticism. He's inside as Paramatma. He's standing in front of them. He's also in Uttara's heart as Paramatma. So, as the Paramatma in her heart, he's protecting the embryo. It's not that Krishna, from when he's standing outside, he had to enter inside the womb to protect. No, he's already there. Krishna is everywhere. He's in the heart of every living entity and even every atom of the universe. That's his Paramatma feature. That's how he's omnipresent. So from within the embryo, he saved Maharaj Parikshit. So here Parikshit is being called the son of the Kurus. They're all actually from Kuru dynasty. Pandavas also from Kuru dynasty, but just, Dhritarashtra made this. We hear the first verse of Bhagavad Gita where Dhritarashtra is saying, oh, what did the Kurus do and what did my sons do? What did the sons of Pandu do? He's making that distinction that there is a difference. They started calling themselves the Kurus, the sons of Dhritarashtra. And whereas the sons of Pandu were called Pandavas. But they were all actually from the Kuru dynasty. Now that all the Kurus are also Dhritarashtra's sons, his grandsons, they're all dead. So the only living heir to the dynasty is Maharaj Parikshit. So he is also called the son of the Kurus. Yadyapi astram brahmashiras.
Yadyapi astram brahmasira.
Tva amogam cha pratikriyam.
Tav amogham chapratikriyam.
Vaishnavam tej asadhya.
Vaishnavam teja asadhya.
Sama shamyad brigudvaha.
Samashamyad brigudvaha. Translation. O Sonaka, glory of Bhrigu family, although the supreme Brahmastra weapon released by Ashwatthama was irresistible and without check or counteraction, it was neutralized and foiled when confronted by the strength of Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Brahmajyoti or the glowing transcendental effulgence is resting on Lord Sri Krishna. In other words, the glowing effulgence known as Brahma Tejas is nothing but the rays of the Lord, just as the sun rays and rays of the sun disk. So this Brahma weapon also, although materially irresistible, could not surpass the supreme strength of the Lord. The weapon called Brahmastra released by Ashwatthama was neutralized and foiled by Lord Sri Krishna by his own energy, that is to say, he did not wait for any other's help because he is absolute.
So Suta Goswami is referring to Shaunak Rishi as glory of Bhrigu's family. Shaunak Rishi is coming in the family of Bhrigu Muni. So he's calling him glory of Bhrigu's family. So the Brahmastra is very, very powerful weapon. Very powerful. But no weapon can be, no material thing can stand in front of Lord Krishna. Nothing. No, actually, nothing, no one. Krishna, there's no one equal to or greater than Krishna. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So he's supremely independent. He didn't need anyone's help to stop the Brahmastra. He just did it by himself. Prabhupada is pointing out that the Brahma Tejas, the Brahma Jyoti, where is that coming from? It's Krishna's own effulgence. It's coming from the body of Krishna, just as the sunshine is coming from the sun planet. The rays of the sun. So the Brahma Jyoti is the rays coming from Krishna's body, his personal body. Ma mamsta hi etad ascharyam.
Ma mamstahi etat acharyam.
Sarvascharyamecyute.
Sarvascharya chyute.
Ya idam mayaya devya.
Ya idam mayaya devya.
Srijati avati hanti aja.
Shriyati avati hantiyaja. Translation. O Brahmanas, do not think this to be especially wonderful in the activities of the mysterious and infallible personality of Godhead by his own transcendental energy. He creates, maintains, and annihilates all material things, although he himself is unborn. Purport. The activities of the Lord are always inconceivable to the tiny brain of the living entities. Nothing is impossible for the Supreme Lord, but all his actions are wonderful for us, and thus he is always beyond the range of our conceivable limits. The Lord is all powerful, all perfect, personality of Godhead. The Lord is 10% perfect, whereas others, namely Narayana, Brahma, Shiva, the demigods, and all other living beings, possess only different percentages of such perfection. No one is equal to or greater than him. He is unrivaled.
So Sutta Goswami is saying, don't think this is so wonderful. Because Supreme Lord, he can do anything. He has this inconceivable energies. We may think, oh my God, how is it possible? But for Krishna, everything's possible. Inconceivable, you know. And he's infallible. He never fails. He's always in the transcendental position. By his own transcendental energy, he is creating, maintaining, destroying the entire creation. So, and Sutta Goswami saying, although he is unborn, Krishna, it's not that he has any origin, no. Krishna is the supreme origin of everyone, of everything. Sarva Karana Karana, cause of all causes. So we may say, oh, how he is inside and outside, how can be done? Why not? He expands as Paramatma and he can do it. The limits are in our minds, which are material. Whereas the Supreme Lord, he's unlimited. Unlimited. He has unlimited potencies. So the Lord is 10% perfect. Here is said 10%, whereas others, namely Narayan, Brahma, Shiva, the demigods, they possess only different percentages of such perfection. No one is equal to or greater than him. So Krishna is said to have 64 qualities in full. Then Lord Narayan is said to have 60 of those qualities. Lord Shiva, 55. Lord Brahma or any other perfect living entity, 50 qualities of Lord Krishna. That also minutely, not in full. So that is to say that any living entity, when the living entity is perfect, he can get 78% of God's qualities. God has 100% of these perfect qualities. And the living entity, the soul, when he becomes perfect, he gets 78% of the qualities. Lord Shiva, he's not an ordinary living entity, but he's not Vishnu Tattva either. So he's in between. So he has 55 of the qualities. The living entity has 50, Lord Shiva has 55, Lord Narayan has 60 of the qualities, and Krishna has 64, all the qualities in full, unlimitedly. So no one is equal to or greater than God. He's asamardha. Asamardha. No one is equal to or greater than him. Like being God is not a post. It's not that, oh, right now somebody is God, then after some time somebody else can become God. No. Lord Brahma, yes. Lord Indra, yes. These are posts. There's one living entity who is given this position for some time. Then after they die, someone else is given the position. But being God, no. Only God is God. No one else can become. Brahma Tejo Vinirmukter.
Brahma Tejo Vinirmukte.
Atmaje Saha Krishnaya.
Atmaje Saha Krishnaya.
Prayana Vimukham Krishnam.
Prayana Bhimuktam Krishnam.
Idam Aha Prithasate.
Idam Aha Prathasati. Anyone else wants to read? Okay, I'll continue. Translation. Thus saith from the radiation of the Brahmatra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons and Draupadi addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home. Purport. Kunti is described herein as Sati or chaste due to her unalloyed devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. Her mind will now be expressed in the following prayers for Lord Krishna. A chaste devotee of the Lord does not look to others, namely any other living being or demigod, even for the deliverance from danger. That was all along the characteristic of the whole family of the Pandavas. They knew nothing except Krishna, and therefore the Lord was also always ready to help them in all respects and in all circumstances. That is the transcendental nature of the Lord. He reciprocates the dependence of the devotee. One should not, therefore, look for help from imperfect living beings or demigods, but one should look for all help from Lord Sri Krishna, who is competent to save his devotees. Such a chaste devotee also never asks the Lord for help, but the Lord, out of his own accord, is always anxious to render it.
So Kunti, now she's going to start offering her prayers to Krishna. Kunti is very attached to Krishna, very affectionate to him. She's his aunt, but she understands that he's the Supreme Lord. So now they are saved, and he's going to go now. He was already going to leave, no, for Dwarka. Then this Brahmastra thing happened. So now he's saved them again, and he's going to start going back to Dwarka. So Kunti starts speaking these wonderful, wonderful prayers. She's called Sati or chaste because she's a pure devotee of Krishna. A pure devotee. Prabhupada, they're saying a pure devotee, a chaste devotee, is always completely dependent on Krishna, not to any other living being, not to any other demigod. Even when they are in danger, you see Pandavas throughout their life, what we learn from them is that whenever there was any danger, they were always completely dependent on Krishna. Completely dependent. And Krishna also reciprocates. Krishna reciprocates with a devotee. One who takes shelter of Krishna, Krishna offers them protection. So Prabhupada is saying that's what one should approach Krishna for all help. One should not look for help from anyone else but from Krishna. So, and then Prabhupada is saying, of course, the pure devotee, he does not even ask Krishna for everything. He has that complete dependence on Krishna, that I am dependent on Krishna, whatever Krishna's will. And Krishna, out of his affection, he saves the devotee, he protects the devotee. Avishya Rakshibe Krishna. The devotee is always in that mood. Avishya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will. He's completely dependent. Whatever is the will of Krishna. He wants to protect me. He wants to kill me. Whatever Krishna wants. And then Krishna becomes very personally involved in the life of such a devotee. And he personally protects them. That's why he's called Bhaktavatsal. Krishna likes to be called Bhaktavatsal because he is Bhaktavatsal. And he has deep love for his devotees. It's not one-sided love. It's not that only the devotee loves Krishna, the devotee serves Krishna. But Krishna also loves the devotee. Krishna also serves the devotee. So it's a reciprocal loving relationship. Kunti Uvacha.
Kunti Uvacha.
Namasye Purusham Tvadyam.
Namasya Purusham Tvadyam.
Ishwaram Prakrite Param.
Ishwaram Prakrite Param.
Alakshyam sarvabhutanam.
Lakshyam bhutanam
Antarbahir avasthitam.
antarbahir avashtitam. Translation. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Purport. Srimati Kunti Devi was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of her nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances unto her nephew. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infallible. The living entities are apt to fall down under the clutches of material nature, but the Lord is never like that. In the Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief among all living entities. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Then again, he is addressed as Ishvara or the controller. The living entities or the demigods, like Chandra and Surya, also to some extent Ishvara, but none of them is the supreme Ishvara, the ultimate controller. He is the Parmeshvara or the super soul. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as her nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. Queen Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without all living beings, is still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle for the common man. Queen, Quin, Queen Kunti experienced personally that Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Sri Krishna is all pervasive or localized. In fact, he is both, but he reserved the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. This checking curtain is called the Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul. It is explained as follows.
So Kunti is beginning this beautiful prayers. These prayers are so good. Srila Prabhupada also put them separately in a book, Queen Kunti's prayers. We read this, I think last year or year before that. We were reading Queen Kunti's prayers. Beautiful. All these prayers are put in a separate book. So she's saying, I offer my obeisances unto you because you're the original personality. So Kunti understands Krishna as the Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. She knows he's playing the part of her nephew, but it doesn't mean he's not God. He's still God. That's why she's offering obeisances. Otherwise, the aunt is not going to offer obeisances to her nephew, no? It's the nephew who will take blessings from the aunt. But here, Kunti is saying, I offer my obeisances to you because she knows he's God himself, unaffected by the qualities of the material world. Because some people may think that Krishna, because he was in the material world, his body is material, or he's bound by the modes of nature, maybe not passion or ignorance, but goodness. But no, Krishna is always transcendental. She knows that he's never affected by the modes of nature. He's always transcendental. That's the difference between us and the Lord. When we living entities, we come to the material world, then we get covered by the gunas. We get bound by the gunas, the goodness, passion, and ignorance, but never Krishna, never the Supreme Lord. It's like the prisoners in the prison, they have to wear the prison uniform. They are bound by the rules of the prison. But when the prime minister is entering the prison, he's just entering in his own clothes. He's not wearing prison uniform. He's coming just by his own will. He can, as he's come by whatever time he wants to come, he can leave whenever he wants to leave. So, but if the prisoner starts thinking, oh, the president is also a prisoner, then that's foolishness. In fact, he should try to approach the president and say, oh, can you help me get out of here? Something to that effect. So the Katha Upanishad says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, that there are so many eternals, but from all the eternal, there is one eternal who's maintaining all the other eternals, and that's Krishna. So who's maintaining us eternally is Krishna. Krishna is maintaining us in this material world. He is also maintaining the spiritual world. It's not that after one gets liberated, Krishna stops maintaining them. No, Krishna maintains one eternally. Eternally. So Krishna is called Ishvara, controller. So we are all to our certain degrees, we have all some degree of control. Each of us have a degree of control. Some to a lesser degree, some to a greater degree. Some maybe have controlling their children or families or their businesses or their shops, or some are controlling the factories, or some are controlling the country, or some are controlling the planets. But the supreme controller is Krishna. The controllers of the planets are called demigods. Chandra, Surya, Indra, they're great controllers. But the supreme controller is Krishna. He's the supreme Ishwar. And he is the super soul. He's the Paramatma. He's the super soul within every atom of the universe. He's there in the heart of every living entity. And he is there, standing in front of Kunti Devi. So he's both within and without. Outside, he's doing the pastimes, his personal pastimes. Within everyone's heart, he's situated as the Paramatma. He's situated within every atom. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishta, mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha, vedescha sarver aham eva vedya. That I am situated in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishta. He said, I'm there in everyone's heart. So the Paramatma in the heart, Paramatma is Krishna. And then he's saying, due to me, one can remember or forget or get the knowledge. Mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna is giving us remembrance. Krishna is giving us the ability to forget. And Krishna is giving us knowledge. And all the Vedas, by all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. All the Vedas are trying to explain to us Krishna's position. And he's the compiler of the Vedas. Vyasadeva is an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Krishna is the original speaker of the Vedas. So by all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. If one can understand Krishna, means one has understood all the Vedas. So Queen Kanti is saying that although both within and without all living beings, he is still invisible. because not everyone can understand Krishna. Krishna says, Manusyanam Sahasreshu, that hardly one knows Krishna. It's very difficult to understand Krishna. This, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, now throughout the world, Krishna's names are being chanted, Krishna is being glorified. But otherwise, it's very difficult to understand Krishna. So, but one may get puzzled, oh, how Krishna was there. Krishna was the nephew of Queen. He's the nephew, and he's standing in front of her. How he can be God? Or, he's entering into the womb of Uttara to save Parikshit. So how is it that he's inside, he's outside? But he is. He reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. So we also, when we feel that somebody does not like us, does not want to know us, then we don't tell them much about ourselves. We will be very, very like cordial, yes, social, yes, but we will not tell them really anything more about ourselves. So Krishna, same, he serves the right of not being exposed to people who don't want to surrender to him, who are not surrendered to him. So it's only the devotees who can understand Krishna. So in the next verse, we will read more about this. This checking curtain, as Prabhupada is putting, that's Maya. So Maya can never cover Krishna. Maya can never control Krishna. What Maya does is she covers our vision of Krishna, that we can't understand him. Just like the cloud, Prabhupada explains, the cloud today is a cloudy day here. So it's not that the clouds are covering the sun, but what the clouds are doing is they're covering our vision of the sun. The sun is too big. The clouds cannot cover the sun. The sun is huge. But the cloud covers our vision of the sun. It's like a curtain. So like when we put the curtains down, doesn't mean that the sun is covered. No, our vision of the sun is covered. So that is Maya. We'll read about that in the next verse, but we'll stop here for today. So any comments and questions? Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Shla Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.